you join us in the start of our new adventure with Montezuma of the Aztecs. And I think they're actually a brilliant civ, but they are particularly brilliant for one particular kind of victory. And we're going to come to that through the course of this game. This will hopefully demonstrate why I believe it is so. We are on an inland sea map. We have access to that sea, thankfully, so we can make some coastal cities, but most of our cities, if they don't have, like, a lake to go by, will struggle for fresh water and will struggle getting harbors. We also found Mount Roraima, which will be nice, potentially for a science victory and or others. I do prefer when wonders have their resources on the wonder itself, because I don't want to override these tiles, but it would be good to take advantage of this nonetheless. We've also found Nan, one of my favorite city-states, because they're a cultural city-state, and they're one of the better ones. I definitely think they're better than, say, Mohenjo-Daro or Vilnius or something. And even though we are an inland sea map, we will hopefully be able to settle around lakes like this one, single-tile lakes, that will hopefully benefit us if we ever get to suzerain this, because it does say that your districts on or next to coast or lake tiles, crucially, provide +2 culture. So you can get a whole bunch of culture from that. Still think I prefer Antananarivo, but Nan is not bad either. Let's take a look at his kit, shall we? So, he has quite a short list, but still pretty powerful. Let's have a look at them. Gifts for the Tlatoani. Is that how you say that? Tlatoani? I think so. Luxury resources in his territory provide an amenity to 2 extra cities. Ooh, that's nice. Which is why he's always wanting them. Military units receive +1 combat strength when attacking for each different luxury resource improved on Aztec lands. Yes, but that one doesn't make as much sense. Right? That one's really cool to have and really good for military. But, you know, like when you have him as an AI in your game, he's always wanting your luxuries. But he's clearly not improved them, right? So, this wouldn't matter for him wanting that agenda. But this does, right? Because in terms of thinking about him as an AI, this doesn't benefit him for his agenda, but this does. Anyway, Legend of the Five Suns. Spend builder charges to complete 20% of the original district cost. Short, sweet, to the point, and one of the most absolute powerful abilities in the game, and we're going to come to that. It is ridiculous. This is why I think he is one of the best. Eagle Warrior. Aztec unique ancient era unit that replaces the warrior, so you get it right off the bat, so an immediate era score that you can't control, but it might help you nonetheless. Has a chance to capture other civilizations' military units by turning them into builders. Nice. But it has to be other civilization. Tlachtli, so he's very much a military kind of guy, but, you know, there are definitely abilities that mean that he can be more than that. A building unique to the Aztecs provides 2 amenities, more amenities again, which presumably, no, but it's still synergistic to a degree. +2 culture, +2 faith, and a great general point. Oh, so this is like the barracks or something? Provides +1 tourism after advancing to conservation civic. So maybe they're thinking you should go cultural. Maybe cultural domination, if that's a thing with him. Interesting. Interesting distribution. But I particularly like this. This is ridiculous. So unfortunately, to my chagrin, Kupe has had his own ideas of where he wants to settle, and, you know, just so happens to be right where I was planning to. I would have loved to gain access to all of his land, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. It's kind of unfortunate and frustrating, but it is what it is. You have to make the most of what you get in these games. We're still planning to hopefully settle here. There is a singular tile that could well be in our reach. But it is quite irritating that we may not see much of Mount Roraima land. We have come to the point in the game where we get to choose our pantheon. And there are a variety of options left available. There is no more Sacred Path, nor is there the Desert Folklore. And of course there's no religious settlements anymore. But, you know, there are some options. However, because, as you can see by my pins, I am pretty eager to make use of all this mountain land for a variety of campuses and potentially going a science victory, I think it's absolutely vital that we take fertility rights. We don't really care for the appeal of our cities, that's not relevant. You know, other things like this sort of stuff, faith, culture, they're nice, but they're not going to necessarily be crucial. But will be crucial is a way to keep our cities healthy and growing. In a map like this, you can see already, there's a whole bunch of tiles which are pretty dead. Like, look at all these tiles. Look at all these tiles. And that's the case that you get often. Oh, there's a barbarian camp here, too. With a game on this map. There are some nicer territories with hills and such, and maybe even a Ruhr city might be here or something. Looks like a fair number of hills. But being able to keep our growth going is going to be essential to make strong enough cities with enough production and enough science to win the game. So I really do believe, especially because it also gives you a builder, which is nice, that fertility rights is the right way to go. The Rites Way to go, even.
Hello! You join us as we found Hamburg. You know where Hamburg's from, right? Northern part, I believe. And, yeah. It's right there. In all its splendor and grey border and very obviously seen. Except for some reason, this game doesn't think that we found Germany yet. Where is Germany? I have no idea. I just thought this would be quite a funny peculiarity, anomaly to show you guys, because, I mean, the game is really well made and it's very complex, but sometimes it can make some real silly mistakes. Even if we pass a turn, I'm not sure if it's going to even let us see Frederick Barbarossa or anything like that. We have good friendship with the others, at least. I'd love to be able to be friends with Germany, who apparently I still can't see. I'd love to be able to trade with Germany, you know? Wouldn't you like some of my provisions, maybe? Trade this honey with you, you know? Be my honey, be my gal? I don't know, you know, like... What is going on? Look! They've stolen my land! I was planning to settle right here! And I was also trying to plan settling here and here and here. So here you're going to be on a great grand pilgrimage, everybody. For our own survival. As you can see here, in the Northwest Territories, there is a bunch of land that doesn't have any loyalty pressure. And we will make use of this. In the coming turns, it may take us forever to get there with a lone settler that could be taken captive by any roaming barbarian, or, you know, if the AI did that kind of thing. But it's what we must do if we are to ever have enough to live off. This game is awfully topical, isn't it? Oh well. Find out in the future turns. Now this may look to you like a really strange idea. I've decided to settle in this horrid little place. I'm pretty sure it was volcanic soil, as it says there, so you wouldn't have been able to put a district here. And it's right adjacent to nothing but a lake tile and 5 mountains, one of them being a volcano. It's a very strange place to settle, and I understand that. I appreciate that. But there's a very good reason for why I did settle here. And the reason is about to be shown. If we have a look at our campus, we can see that we can get a 2, 4, 5, 6, 7... Woo! Adjacent strong campus. Hell yeah. And when we're trying to do a science game, who needs a goddamn Sayawan? I mean, really. I like to go science when the game itself presents reasons to do so. Not because I have a specialist district. That itself is really awkward, cumbersome, only limits at 4, maybe 5. You have a government plaza for one of them, and you're a bit stranded because you can't settle anything else near it. You can't put any districts around to say one, or you'll lose your whole reason for having one. That's not, in my opinion, what makes a civilization great for science. Civilization great for science on the naive, uninformed, uneducated level might be to think about specialist districts. But really, in reality, you use the map and the environment around you to make your good districts. And it's much more specialist and nuanced for the actual abilities that matter in a science game. We're about to come to that. Life as an online Civ player is a very, very different story to that of standard game. Many things can be considered that can just not be considered in an online speed game. Often I see other games, watch other content creators playing on standard speed, and they're all like, oh, I love this wonder, I love that wonder, it's so good because of its benefits, and policy slots are so great to have, and you should always consider it. 99% of the time in an online speed game, those wonders are taken before you've even been able to research for it. Potala Palace, Forbidden City, Big Ben, these are incredibly rare to get in an online speed game because they get taken well early. Especially if you're not focused in science. This game, I am focused in science, it's a little bit easier, but man, it's a dream come true that we're able to build this Potala Palace. As you can see, it's right here in our latest Renaissance era. We have over 100 science per turn at this early stage in the game. It will provide us 1 diplomatic policy slot and 1 diplomatic victory point. The victory point does not matter, but the policy slot would definitely be useful when it comes to our tertiary governments and how we can propel our production to get through the science projects and even the science itself. Also, bear in mind, the fact that we have a bunch of mountains meant this was possible in the first place, because in some maps it's just not even possible for those reasons, let alone anything else.
The first time I stepped onto the rooftop of the Potala Palace, I felt as never before or since, as if I was stepping onto the rooftop of my being, onto some dimension of consciousness that I'd never visited before.
Potato Palace is ours! Woohoo! All the potatoes. It's a rare sight. Welcome! We've arrived! The grand unveiling for why Montezuma is, in my opinion, the best Science Civ in the game. No, he doesn't have a specialty science building or district, and as you can see, we have made quite a few cities. We even managed to make those cities I was talking about in the land up north. And for each one of these cities, because we are Montezuma, we are going to be able to build a spaceport. Hell, even these ones up north potentially have a chance to build a spaceport. Now, how could that be? Turn 129 already. We don't have that much time. What on earth are we doing with that? Well, it's because of this. It says a builder with free charges on it, and we have a charge right here, and it takes 18 turns to build a spaceport. Just kidding. It takes 13 turns to build a spaceport. Or actually, no, it even takes less than that. It's supposed to be around about 4 turns for spaceport. Per city, for every city, no matter how many cities in your entire empire. And then when the end of the game comes and we're all doing those, extraterrestrial projects, every single city can contribute and we can make our whopping acceleration to the whole point of the science game. Yes, science is about collecting science. Yes, science is your resource. But the biggest hurdle in every science game, it isn't really the science. It is obviously relevant. It's the building of the damn spaceport. The 20 turns, if you're lucky, on a high production city, and maybe very little else, and everything else is maybe 30 and 40 turns. And that's just way too long to consider. But you don't need to worry about it if you're Montezuma, because you just build things for free. Hell, I could even take this right off the production line. Doesn't really have anything else to do right now, so it might as well stay there. But we could even take it off the production line and it would still be done in 5 turns, because as long as we have 5 builder charges, woohoo, we have our spaceport. That is ball-bustingly insane. It is a way stronger ability than it really seems most people can imagine. And a way more powerful thing to do than a 4 adjacency campus or whatever it may be. So make sure to mark that in your books. This guy is an S tier science civ. S for science.
And there it is! You see it? Every single city, and we have a lot of them now,
is doing industrial zone logistics, which is an essential part to my plan on science. Is that I mean, why wouldn't you? You want production to build your spaceport. You want production to do your projects. Every single city should have an industrial zone. And with Monty, you can make that easy, because we just talked about that, how easy it is to make districts with him, no matter what they are, no matter what production the city is at. And as long as you do that, and have your Lagrange and terrestrial, particularly the terrestrials, off-world projects in motion, you just put everybody, as you can see, all our cities, apart from this one, ready to make this happen soon, into industrial zones. And there you have it. You have 10 light years per turn for a whopping fantastic science victory that's going to be imminently completed next turn, because we're already 17 out of 25 light years. It makes a joke out of anything. You make a bunch of cities, you use Monty's ability to get the districts you need, and you're good. That's all you need.
Much as our ancestors did ages ago, we thrust forward into the unknown. The first pioneers set forth on an uneasy course. And yet once again did our people thrive. Now, under your leadership, we plot a new course and make another world our own.
Thank you again for joining me. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, perhaps a comment below on what you'd like to see. I look forward to seeing you again.